Buddha once said, "We are what we think about most," and that's because thoughts become things. It is so important that you and your child develop positive thinking. The power and the importance of positive thinking is instrumental to success in anyone, not just yourself or your child, and anyone to succeed in life. I'm your host, Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and our show is going to provide you some tools, inspiration, and motivation to success. We're going to provide you a show that will truly help you to dream big, think positive, and take action. We're going to bring you interviews from people across this great state of Kansas. We're going to bring you leaders from this community. We're going to bring you teachers, coaches. We're going to bring you military leaders and some great people to inspire and motivate you. So please stay tuned. We have a great show for you today.
Every individual has value and the right to be treated with dignity. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas support persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and are dedicated to the worth of each person. To help DSNBK give the best of a vast array of services, we invite you to log on to our Plan Giving website. It features valuable ideas on ways to plan for the future and receive benefits. Lives are transformed by your support of people with disabilities for generations to come. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas.
Hi, I'm Seth Castle, owner of Castle Books Publishing here in Hays, Kansas. I've purchased advertising time here on Eagle Community Television to help support veteran-owned small businesses in our community. So if you're a veteran-owned small business and would be interested in using this advertising time, please go to my website, www.castlebooks.com, and click on the Veterans Outreach tab. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
He cries in the corner where nobody sees. He's the kid with the story no one would believe. He prays every night, "Dear God, won't you please, could you send someone here who will love me?"
Help a child know they're special. Adopt. Call or go online to learn how.
Who will love me for me?
Simon's tax, accounting, and financial planners have been trusted by their clients for decades. At Simon's, they take a holistic approach with a comprehensive portfolio of services for their clients. Make your appointment today and enjoy a better tomorrow for you and your family. Simon's Tax, Accounting, and Financial Planners, 1007 Cody Avenue in Hays.
Welcome everyone to Dreaming Big with Dr. Schwandt. I'm your host, Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and I have a very special guest today, Mr. Bob Beerley. Thank you so much for coming on here. So Mr. Bearley here, and I have so much respect for him, it's hard for me to call him by his first name, was a former foster parent of mine, was a former teacher and a coach of mine, and is just an inspirational person. When I talk about Mr. Bearley here, I talk about him being the role model for role models. Actually dedicated my first book to Mr. Beerley and his wife Sharon, who's no longer with us. And my second book, that was Succeeding as a Foster Child. And my second book, Finding Your Hero, he's actually the foster parent in my book. So I dressed him up as a superhero, which was really fun. Yeah, it's an honor to have you here. You're an inspirational person, not just to myself, but to everyone who knows you. So thank you so much.
You're very kind, and I'm very humbled by that, and I don't see myself that way.
Oh, you definitely are.
And God blessed us to let you live with us, and I remember meeting you the first time, and I got a knock on the door of my classroom, and it was our principal, and he said, "We have a new student here," and it was Jamie. And I guess you would say the rest is history, because I'm really thankful and blessed, and
I still remember that.
Yeah.
So you were teaching freshman math, I think, when I walked in as an 8th grade student entering foster care. And I still remember, I guess I had my Oakland Raiders hat on, Oakland Raiders jacket on, and an earring, I think. So I thought I was something else. So.
And all I can remember was you. I wish I could remember, but I don't remember you wearing that.
Yeah. No, that was, I definitely wanted, this was the interview that I wanted to have, so, I had to interview you because everyone out there needs to know the nuggets of wisdom from Mr. Bob Beerley. So,
you humble me very much.
Well,
and you've touched me back far more than I have you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask you, so I know what you're doing. I want you to tell the audience a little bit about Mr. Bob Beerley, who you are, and what you're doing now.
Oh, I just retired after teaching for 45 years, and my heart's still with teaching and with young people, and I wish I could go 45 more years.
And you were 45 years, most of them were spent in Kensington, Kansas as a gold bug, and when they changed to Thunder Ridge as a longhorn. I can't remember, did you come to Kensington right away out of teaching, or you taught somewhere else first?
I had taught for 13 years when we moved there. That was in 1983. And McCracken before that, really good school.
And you coached for almost all those 45 years as well,
I've really
too.
been blessed with, and I know it's a lot more special to me than it is to the athletes that I was coaching. Really, really grateful for that.
Oh, anyone who had you as a teacher, as a coach, we should all be very grateful. So, So a legend in Kensington, Kansas, Mr. Bob Beerley. So, now tell me a little bit about yourself as a foster parent. You're no longer a foster parent now. What kind of motivated or inspired you to become a foster parent?
That's really interesting. I came home from school one day and Dolores Panner said to my wife, and then my wife told me, Jamie's going to be moving in with us. And really, really thankful for that. And there was no way I could tell them no, or you either.
Yeah.
And so you were our first foster child, and what a blessing we've had. And thank you very, very much for keeping in touch with us and your family, and you are family. If you remember when I used to say, oh, you seem like family to me, because I didn't want to make you feel bad when I'd say, oh, you are our family, because you are.
No,
and we're very, very thankful for that, and to be able to go to your wedding and your graduation doctorate degree. My wife and I, and she wasn't feeling very well that day, but she wanted to make sure she was there. And, and I remember she went to the car soon after that, but she waited for us, and very, very, very special day. And then another really special day, we were in hospice, and you called, and we talked for a long time, and then you said, oh, tell Mrs. Bearley I love her. And so I whispered to her and said, oh, Jamie called and he loves you. And I could see her lips move, and oh, tell him I love him. So I had to call you right back, and really, really, really a special. So thank you.
Yeah, that was a special time, and that was right as we moved out to, my wife and I, Tommy, moved out to Washington, D.C. And
yeah,
and that was a
and she planned her own service, her own funeral, and her own pallbearers, and she chose you. And you had been in Washington, D.C. for 2 days, I think, and here you fly back, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you.
Well, I was very honored that Sharon asked me to come over,
So you know that you touched her, and we appreciate.
Well, I appreciate everything you and Sharon did.
Yeah.
So what was your inspiration? We know your inspiration to be a foster parent now.
Yeah.
Inspiration to become a teacher.
It's interesting. My dad was a teacher principal, and he did not want me to be a teacher. And so it's my second semester, my junior year in college. We didn't have email or texting. We either had to call or write letters. So I called him and I said, oh, are you okay if I would be a teacher anyway? And he said it would be okay. So I guess it's kind of like I tried not to be a teacher maybe, but I just think God wanted me to be a teacher, and I'm so thankful that my dad would say, yeah, it's okay. And boy, I've gotten so much more from students than I've ever given. That, I just get a lot back all the time, and really, really thankful for that.
Well, I'm sure they've received a lot too. You're probably the most humble person I know. So, what about so teaching and coaching and being a foster parent? I wanted to also ask you, because I have to get these nuggets of wisdom from you. The foster care system, you got to know it decently well as a foster parent. What do you think is going well right now in foster care? And then we'll get into kind of what needs to be improved. If you had to think about what is going well in the foster care system, What would you say?
You know, like for us, it's just that I think, you know, I just like to say, you know, new student. I didn't like to use the word foster care. And the foster children that we had after you were young, and when I would introduce them, you know, I'd just say their name, and then we would get home and they would say, well, why don't you tell them we're foster, you know, foster children. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones that really taught me that I had to say that, because I didn't want to say that. I just wanted to say, well, these are our kids, you know. And you know, I really, really appreciate the training that we go through to be a foster parent. And I tell people I wish I would have gone through that training before we had our own children. And it would be really nice if we could, for young people to get married, if we all could go through that training, because it's really valuable. And you know, I learned a lot.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, we're going to go to a brief commercial break, and when we come back, I want to ask you those questions about, you know, maybe what needs to be improved.
Okay.
So we're going to take a brief commercial break. Please stay tuned. We have our second part interview with Mr. Bob Beerley.
Learn more about us at januscampaign.org.
Your child deserves to know you care, even if you can't be by her side every day. If you owe the state of Kansas for back child support, we've got a new program that helps you pay down your debt while paving the way for your child's higher education. It takes just a $25 investment to get started. Learn more at www.dcf.ks.gov. Helping you build a healthy family and support your child to succeed.
Hello, I am Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and as a former foster child, I want to give back and help others succeed. I've wrote 2 books dedicated to foster families. Last year, I wrote Succeeding as a Foster Child. This book is a roadmap for success for foster children. My second book, Finding Your Hero, was recently published. This book is a children's book for foster children and provides a positive message for foster families. These books are great resources for foster families and can be found at jamieschwandt.com. Thank you and God bless.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dreaming Big with Dr. Schwandt. I'm your host, Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and I'm here for our second part of our interview with Mr. Bob Beerley, who was my former foster parent, teacher, and coach, and a superhero in the upcoming book, Finding Your Hero. So, Mr. Beerley, we talked a little bit about what you think is going right, or what you think works well in foster care. And I think what you were getting at is a foster parent being a role model, and a foster parent embracing the kid as their own, I think, is what you tried to do. What are those things that aren't going so well that, and I know you don't like to get into that, but if you had a magic wand and you could fix anything in foster care, what would it be?
My wish would be that we didn't have foster care and we didn't need it, but I'm very, very thankful for it. I'm very, very thankful for the children that are in it and for the ones that have touched our lives, and really, really grateful for that. And as I look back, I wished I knew how you really felt, because you're writing your dissertation for your doctor's degree, and you're mailing it to me, and I'm reading this, and you were telling me how you felt as a foster child. And I remember calling you and saying how I felt so bad that I didn't know that, and I didn't want you to feel that way. And I wish I could have picked up on that, because I know we could have worked that, because I wanted you to feel happy, and I'm sorry that I missed that. That still gives me
You're referring to the stigma part.
Yeah, yes, and I was totally unaware of that, and I'm very sorry about that.
Well, I think, so in what I wrote was that there's a foster care stigma, and what I found is foster children, we feel that there's a stigma, we feel like, feel like a second-class citizen, a second-rate friend, feel that people look, down at us or expect us to fail. And unless you're a foster child, you probably don't realize it. So it's hard. I mean, unless you're in the shoes of a foster child, it's probably hard to realize that. I mean, there's a stigma in a lot of different things, but yeah, so it's a very, very interesting point.
And I knew that you were going to succeed and do well. We would stay up really late at night, and just like we are now, you would be asking me just question after question. It really, really made me think. And the rest of the story, we would go to bed way late, and then Mrs. Bearley would get us, and I would try really hard to get up and act like I wasn't tired, but I didn't have a way to communicate to you, say, hey, wake up and act like you're not tired. And yeah, but I learned a lot by that. And there you are, 8th grade freshman, and I could tell you wanted to do well just by the questions you would ask. And that's what I'd really encourage all children to really ask people and find out, any and everything that you want to know, and you did an excellent job with that.
So encourage children to ask why, ask questions, and then encourage foster parents to embrace that, to let them ask questions and to answer those questions and encourage them to ask questions. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm really thankful because our family, our children, and our extended family just accepted foster children, and we would go somewhere and come back, and the foster children would say, well, nobody asked us why we were here or what we're doing here, and and I'm thankful for that because they,
yeah, your children really embraced foster children, I think.
Yes.
Bobby and Justin and Crystal, and I remember I remember talking to Justin, and hopefully he doesn't mind I'm bringing him up here. He mentioned how that was kind of difficult, because you spent a lot of time with foster children, and they were probably a little jealous at times, but then they realized how important it was. And I remember, I never felt like they, felt jealous or anything like that. Because I remember it was after a football game, and I told Justin, he was a couple years older than I was, that, hey, you're my role model. So I was looking at him. So Justin, that was good stuff with your family, and everything about your family embraced foster care, and they did it right. That was, if you could create a model for any foster family, it would be your model, the Bearley's model. So.
Yeah, my wife gets a lot of credit for that, and our kids, and I was totally unaware of their jealousy until you told me.
No, and I don't know if jealousy is the right word.
Yeah,
and it probably isn't the right word. It's probably the wrong word, because, but yeah, so great family. Anything else that you could think about improving, or?
The hardest thing for me was when foster children would leave. And, when you moved, I can remember just staring at the wall, wondering, because I was sad that you left. And then the next foster child we had was in the 2nd grade, and he left in the 3rd grade. And I said his name. I said, oh, I'm so sorry you're moving. And he looked up at me and said, well, you knew I was going to move sometime, but I really didn't. I just thought he was going to be there till he graduated from high school. And I'm very, very grateful that you stayed in Gold Bugs, Kensington, and so I got to see you every day, and that meant a lot.
Now, what I wanted to ask you, your thoughts, not only how to improve foster care, but as for a foster parent, what would you say to another foster parent besides what you said already? And anything else you'd like to add to that?
Be really, really careful what you say, because I made a bad mistake with one. We were going somewhere where the foster children didn't get to go, and they went to respite. And it happened to be a boy, and he was crying, and I was trying to figure out what the deal was, and he said, you're leaving, and you're not coming back, and you're not going to come and get us. And I said, yes, we will. And here we go back to get him from respite care, and he'd been moved. And that really taught me to be really careful, because I did not know that was going to happen, and that's still sad for me.
Anything from Bob Beerley? Anything? Any obstacles or anything that you ever came as a younger guy, or even as not an older guy. I don't want to call you older guy, but any obstacles that you'd overcome that really come to mind?
I don't think it was really natural for me to maybe talking to people. I grew up, I think, kind of being introverted maybe and not saying very much. And we just celebrated our 50th anniversary from graduating from high school.
Oh, wow.
And here I'm sitting there at our reunion, and I could feel myself going into that same mode, where I didn't say anything, and it's like I didn't, I was okay telling people hi, but probably didn't extend myself.
Yeah.
And so I had really good classmates, and they were like family too. And
yeah, 50 years.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. And I'm really blessed.
Yeah. I hit my 15th, so that's quite different there.
You're young.
Last question I wanted to ask you is,
okay.
I love to read, and we talk about that all the time. Leaders are readers. Any specific book out there that you would recommend to to anyone?
For me, the number one book for me is the Bible. I tried to read.
How did I know you were going to say
that?
Oh,
did you? Okay. Yeah, and I tried to read it every day. And then your first book that you wrote, I just read it over, the last 2 days and finished it yesterday, and I get so much from that, and a lot of knowledge in it. But I get wisdom in there. You just gave so much time and effort. And
I stole it from you.
And it's not only for foster children. Any and everybody. It just means a lot. And what you wrote and all the time and effort. And I remember when you were going to get your doctor's degree, and you were saying, "Hey, I want to write my dissertation. It's going to make a difference." And and you don't only say what you want to do, you really do it, because your dissertation really, it helps a lot of people, and you did a lot of research to it, and you really cared about what you were doing and cared about the people that you were writing with and for, and and we're really happy. Congratulations, and any and everybody that knows you are just so excited. And Tommy, what an awesome wife, and Ella. And it's so fun to visit your home, and what an awesome dad you are, and husband, and Tommy, a mother, and
thank you.
And Ella, if you get up and start to leave, she doesn't want you to go into the other. She doesn't want to be out of. She wants you to be in her side all the time, and what a special.
We're very blessed to have little Ella in our lives. So.
And that's exciting for me, and that's why I like to come and visit with you, just because I know already. I can witness firsthand, you being a great father and husband.
You.
Yeah, that's.
No, it's all the credit goes to my wife. So.
Yeah, you guys are a good team.
Well, thank you. And this was the interview that I wanted to have. I definitely wanted to have Mr. Bearley as on the show. So you're the role model for role models.
Well, I'm really humbled by that you would even ask me, and. You just say be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I'm probably not too comfortable doing this interview.
No, you did a good job. So.
But there's no way I could tell you no, because of all the respect that I have for you and how happy we are. And my extended family, if we go to Cheney to visit, my brothers would say, "Well, did you get to talk to Jamie?"
Oh yeah.
And so I know you mean a lot to our extended family. And
well, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for being in the military and all serving, and God bless you.
I'll steal your line. God is good.
Yeah, God is good.
Well,
thank
you so much.
Thank you.
So, that does it for our show today, our interview with Mr. Bob Beerley. So thank you all for viewing, and God bless the United States of America.
Hi, I'm Seth Castle, owner of Castle Books Publishing here in Hays, Kansas. I've purchased advertising time here on Eagle Community Television to help support veteran-owned small businesses in our community. So if you're a veteran-owned small business and would be interested in using this advertising time, please go to my website, www.castlebooks.com, and click on the Veterans Outreach tab. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service.
Learn more about us at januscampaign.org.
Simon's tax, accounting, and financial planners have been trusted by their clients for decades. At Simon's, they take a holistic approach with a comprehensive portfolio of services for their clients. Make your appointment today and enjoy a better tomorrow for you and your family. Simon's Tax, Accounting, and Financial Planners, 1007 Cody Avenue in Hayes.
Every individual has value and the right to be treated with dignity. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas support persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and are dedicated to the worth of each person. To help DSNWK give the best of a vast array of services, we invite you to log on to our Plan Giving website. It features valuable ideas on ways to plan for the future and receive benefits. Lives are transformed by your support of people with disabilities for generations to come. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas.